Hello everyone, another video for you today. So the narcissist discarded you, or maybe you got fed up and you left them behind. And now they've moved on, and it looks like they're doing so much better without you. They're happier without you. Maybe they've got their new supply. They've got all of these things going on now. You see their pictures on social media, and it looks like they're always smiling with this new person. Like they've just forgotten about you. They're so much happier now. Or at least that is what they want you to think. And that is why I named this title, why it looks like they're doing better without you. Because the reality is very different. They're not really doing better without you. It just looks that way. And they set it up that way because the entire time that they were with you, they were playing you down, and they were likely idealizing someone else and triangulating you with them. This person that they already had lined up, or it could have been an ex as well, that they re-idealized and then they decided to hoover them. So the entire time they were playing you down and triangulating you with this other person. So of course, naturally, you're going to assume that they've moved on. They're so much happier now. You might assume that even if they don't tell you anything, even if you don't see any pictures, that's going to be your natural assumption because they have brainwashed and indoctrinated you. They've made you believe in these lies and stories. And you've just got to look back at when you first met them, when they first targeted you. Remember how they came to you with this false character? They made you believe that they were about all of these things. They lied to you, they manipulated you, they future faked. And then time went by and none of this ever actually came into fruition. You never experienced the results or the effects of what they were portraying to you in the beginning. They made you believe that they were on your level, or in fact, they were at a higher level than you. And they were there to help you, to make your life better. But then you got with them and you ended up doing all of the work. You were doing everything for them and you were getting little or nothing back in return. And yet many of us, because we've been indoctrinated the entire relationship, we actually believe that they have moved on and now they're happier with someone else and they're doing better without us. Well, that's actually nothing more than just another part of the illusion. Just look back at the love bombing that you experienced with them. It was just all talk, all words. They never actually did anything. So what makes you think that they're going to do something great with someone else? If you want to know how great someone can build something with a person, just look back at their past. Look back at their past experiences and relationships, how they have interacted with other people in the past. Were they the type of person to just go in and use and abuse someone and then just leave them behind and forget about them? Or have they been in relationships where they're doing 50% of the work or all of the work, They're doing everything they can to help the other person and to improve their life. That's what you've got to look at, this pattern of behavior from their past with their exes. Were they at least doing 50-50? Were they improving the other person's life? If not, then whoever they're dealing with is likely going to get rid of them. Or they're going to end up leaving them, just as it happened with you. Because relationships, they need to be 50-50. Or they have to be somewhat even for them to work. It can't just be one person doing everything and the other person is sitting back. Relationships do not work that way. They won't last for long. So this is what we've got to look at. I mean, I'm sure yourself, if you are an empath or maybe you're codependent, you've got a very consistent pattern of behavior in relationships where you're doing everything you possibly can. You're giving all of your love and devotion to the person that you're with. You're doing all of the work. You're always there for them. And you're thinking long term. You're thinking about marriage, children, a future. So that shows the next person that you get involved with, it's likely to be a much better experience for you than what you experienced with the narcissist. If you do heal and you look for the signs, the red flags that let you know what you're dealing with. But as for the narcissist, they are not going to do better without you. It's just going to get worse. They will experience a downward spiral as their lives begin to deteriorate. Because they're just not willing to put in the work. And as I said about the pattern of behavior in their past relationships, they have a history of using, abusing, and discarding people. So that's what they're going to continue to do. And the more that they do that, it's just going to get even worse for them. Because the more that they do it, they have these expectations, they become even more impatient, and it makes it so much easier for people to catch on. Because then they gain more confidence, or arrogance rather, and they become more overt. They think they can get away with certain things a lot easier, when it just reveals exactly who they are. So now people are starting to leave these relationships a lot earlier. Or even if they get involved with them, they don't desire to go back to them. And I know a lot of you who are watching this video right now, the last thing you want is to go back to the narcissist. When if this was a few years ago, it would have been very different. You may still have desired to go back to them. But now that you've had these experiences, you've gained this knowledge, you don't feel that desire anymore. And it's not just for you, this is going to be the same for everyone else as well. Because this information is widespread now. A lot of people are aware of it. So this narcissistic behavior, it's not going to lead them anywhere good. It may look like that initially, short term, and it may look like for us, empaths, maybe we're naive, we're innocent, we're foolish at times. It may look like our empathy just leads us to constant failures in the beginning, but over time it will begin to level out. Empathy does lead to success long term. Narcissism, as we know, there are studies about this, it can lead to short-term success, but then long-term it always leads to self-destruction. And it's not that easy for them to just engage in narcissistic behavior and then just leave it alone, because there is a reward, an incentive for them to continue with it, and it becomes habitual. So they get stuck in that cycle of repeating the same behaviors, and ultimately it leads to failure and self-destruction. Well, as for us, when we go through this, it just makes us have more sympathy and compassion for other people who have gone through it. And we can see that in the comments on so many different YouTube channels. Once you've been through this, it's like you understand, you know what other people are going through. You have this ability to relate. And this empathy, it really just leads to our success long term. And I genuinely believe that. When I've seen people who are empaths in their old age, they're very happy, they're at peace with themselves. They're not so driven by their egos or this need to be important. They can be satisfied. They're often in healthy relationships. They don't surround themselves with too many people. But as for narcissists, it's the opposite. I've never seen a narcissist in old age who is happy. They're very bitter and resentful. They hold grudges, they can't let things go. And they're just very unhappy. They look back at their life of failures and disappointments, where they took advantage of people, they exploited them, and it haunts them. It just fills them full of shame, which they carry with them throughout their lives. They try to deflect it onto other people, but it doesn't work that way. It stays with them. Remember, narcissists are shame-based people. They're doing everything they can to avoid reflecting on their shame, but it stays with them their entire lives. And it actually gets a lot worse with age, the more that they manipulate and abuse other people. So to answer the question of why it looks like they're doing better without you, it really is just an illusion. It's all manipulation and orchestration. It's something where they can show you the snapshot, this image of something good in a specific moment. They can orchestrate it, they can arrange the elements, they can coordinate it. I mean, of course, they're very good at that. You've got to think narcissists, they've been living this lie their entire lives. It's just a fake life. You ask a narcissist, they will tell you their relationship is fine, it's perfect, there's nothing wrong with it, they're happy, and they will show it off on social media. They may even have told you their childhood was perfect, their parents were fine, but then just look at them and how they behave. They're always miserable. They can't sustain a relationship, or even then they're not happy being alone in their own company. These are all clear signs that yes, their entire life they have lived in denial. They have lived in an alternate reality. They don't accept the truth. And that the truth is that yes, they have actually lived quite a miserable life. I mean, no one's life is perfect, of course. That's what narcissists do. They try to portray this perfect image of how their life is so much better than yours or another person's. But as soon as they do that, that's how you should know that they are full of shit. Because most people, they're not going to describe their lives in that way. Our lives have ups and downs. And so does our happiness as well. We have good moments and we have bad moments. There's things you can take out of your life and say that was good. There's other things you could say that was bad. But for the narcissist, it's like everything is perfect. There's nothing wrong. They never did anything wrong to anyone. Nothing was done wrong to them in their childhood. It's all just a facade. And so you should know that even when it looks like they've moved on and they appear to be happy, that is a facade as well. And honestly, I look back at some of my narcissistic exes and how miserable they were. I can honestly say that I don't hold a grudge despite everything that they did to me, how they abused me for so many years. Honestly, I look back at them and I wish that they did just move on and find someone and have a healthy relationship and things just got better for them and they could have been happy. I wish it could have been that way for them. But from what I know, as I've mentioned in other videos, it wasn't that way for them and it never will be. Narcissists, these people who manipulate and abuse you, they're never just going to move on and be happy. It's never going to be that way for them. They're always going to be miserable. And that's just the way that it is. That's just the way that it's going to be for them. And I know it may be the same for some of you. Maybe some of you actually wish that, yes, if only the narcissist could move on and find someone and just have a happy, healthy relationship and maybe just forget about you for real instead of just pretending to forget about you. And at times, these things that you see, you may see these pictures on social media with these fake smiles where it looks like they're so happy without you. You see that and it may make you quite angry and upset. And not because you're envious or jealous of their supposed new relationship, but actually because maybe you already know deep down that yes, it is fake. It's not even real. And it angers you because you're just thinking, yes, I've just been manipulated again. I've just been fooled again by thinking that this person could actually be real, could actually be genuine. I could actually find a healthy relationship with someone else. Because I don't know about you, but that's what makes me angry. That's what upsets me when I see things like that. In my past, when I've seen these ex-narcissists portray this relationship after they just discarded me, I'm just thinking, do you really think that I'm that stupid? That I'm that foolish to believe in this illusion again? That you've just moved on and you found someone else? That's what angers and upsets me. Not because I'm envious or jealous of a narcissist's new relationship. If it's someone where it's actually real, or they have a healthy, happy relationship with someone, that's great. That's what I support. That's what I like to see. I wish there was more of that in the world instead of all of this fake stuff where people are pretending to be something that they're not. And of course, we should already know by how they've treated us. They treated us badly. They abused us. They manipulated us. They lied to us. They future faked. And it's like, how can someone even have the audacity and the arrogance to act like they've moved on and then portray this happy relationship with someone else after what they've just gone and done to you? I mean, you've got to think, how delusional can someone be? How detached from reality? Because it just doesn't make any sense. Someone with that type of character, with those traits, where they're capable of deliberately and intentionally hurting and mistreating someone and feeling no remorse. How can someone be so audacious and arrogant to move on and act like they're actually happy and in a healthy relationship with someone else? In the real world, that never happens. If that was ever going to happen, even if they miraculously just had this epiphany and suddenly managed to change, which as we know is extremely rare for a narcissistic person, even if that did happen, the first thing they're going to do is reinitiate some form of contact with you, the person that they mistreated and abused, and then they're going to try and correct things with you. They're going to try and make things better with you, because of course they're going to feel very guilty. But as we know, narcissistic people do not do that. So that's how you know straight away that they have not moved on and they are not happy with someone else. They do not have a healthy relationship. And in fact, they are never going to be happy in their lives. They are always going to be miserable. And they're always going to be envious and jealous of you. They're always going to try to portray this illusion of superiority. And that's all that it's ever going to be. It's never going to be real. It's always going to be fake. Their entire life is fake. It's all a lie. It's all manipulation and deception. As I've said before, the best you will ever get from them is an illusion. And it's like, while we're with them, it gets to a point where that's the best they will ever get from us, because we can't even be ourselves around them. So the best that we can give to them is an illusion as well. Because any time that we try to show any empathy or compassion, what do? They try to break us down. They try to prevent us from doing that. But we can take that and share it with someone who cares. Someone who will love us for who we are. Someone who will accept us. Someone who appreciates our kindness and compassion, instead of just taking it for granted. So I just wanted to share this message with you tonight of how they are not doing better without you. And in fact, typically they are doing a lot worse, because you've got to think they really had the best with you. You are an empath. Some of you may be codependents. It's like we value ourselves by what we can give to people. All we care about is making other people feel good. And you just got to think, what are the odds that they are going to find that again with someone else. Knowing that empaths are extremely rare in this world, while narcissistic people are very common. Just being aware of that should tell you all that you need to know. They are not doing better without you. So I hope this video comforts you. I hope it's helpful. And if it is, you can show your support by giving it a thumbs up down below. Let me know your thoughts as well in the comment section. I do read your comments every day. And as always, I look forward to talking with you in another video very soon. You all have a